When Metal Gear Solid Virtual Reality Missions was released in 1999, it was considered to be a unique interpretation on the then newly established Metal Gear Solid series from a year previously in 1998. At the time, Metal Gear Solid was a revolutionary and groundbreaking game, and is now considered one of the greatest video games ever made. But the speculative scenario is this: is Metal Gear Solid VR Missions official canon to Metal Gear Solid lore? When Metal Gear Solid was released in 1998, it revolutionized or even created the concept of tactical shooting games, and arguably created the stealth subgenre where it was more important to complete assignments secretly on without technically being noticed than to just complete assignments without care of being noticed by enemy personnel. Players of the game at the time remarked at the visionary aspects of the game, on how they had to control Snake and have him get from one area of the map without being seen, or to do so on different assignments without necessarily being noticed. While the main game itself was captivating, there were inquiries into a sort of concept focused on the stealth premise within the tactical aspect from Metal Gear Solid, as there were some gamers who just wanted that experience from the game, or nothing else. Due in part to the literal tactical espionage action for Metal Gear Solid, as well as the pivotal success of the Metal Gear Solid game, a spin-off installment was released being VR Missions. The whole game was the player assuming the role of Snake, performing various missions that focused on the stealth premise for Metal Gear Solid. Due to gamers not wanting any real story in the VR missions, it completely focused on the stealth, and essentially the game was just randomized missions for the sake of exploring or experiencing the Metal Gear Solid aspect of stealth. Due to VR missions being developed by Konami, and at that time in part to take advantage of the interest from Metal Gear Solid, and the VR missions having no central theme linking it as a result, with all of this considered, it wasn't in proper canon to the Metal Gear Solid video game of the time, just that of a one-shot interpretation from the Metal Gear based action for a more casual niche of players that desired a different feel from Metal Gear Solid itself. The sentiment of popular opinion on the consensus from Konami had VR missions being non-canon until the release of Sons of Liberty in 2001, where from dialogue mentioned in the game, Raiden, when asked about his particular experience as a soldier, mentioned that he had endured a period of time within a simulator, which gave him a basic understanding of the mission parameters of what needed to be done, and to help him learn about Solid Snake. The simulator that Raiden mentioned was a reference to VR missions, and consensus now is that they were a governmental program that all special operatives did to try and replicate the actions or experience for Solid Snake. Though the passing reference by Raiden was to VR missions, there were not much else in terms of details for Hideo Kojima's original Metal Gear Solid timeline, and that by circumstances or positions with Konami on VR missions are semi-official canon to proper Metal Gear Solid lore.